Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you may be. And welcome back to the channel, and welcome to another edition of HCW Show Squared, the show that you use your format or formula of the defunct HCW podcast, expands the power of, you guessed it, two. I am your host, Dan, DP, or they all say nowadays, DpuizY. Yeah. And I'm aware I missed last week. I'm fully aware of that. I apologise. But nothing happened last week. Nothing of note anyway. So it's fine. However, we're not here to discuss last week, we're here to discuss this week. And I am not alone this week, because I am joined by the everlasting co-host himself, the master of sus, Mr. Impact, Craig. Craig, how are you doing?
You know me, it's that MIC Craig, aka Mr. Impact. Impact.
There it is. There it is.
That's really dumb. That might be the first time I've ever done that, which is interesting considering the name, but yeah. I'm all good. It's been a minute since I've done any podcast related stuff, so glad to be back at it. And NXT was interesting.
Indeed it was. But yeah, have you got any thoughts on last week's happenings? As we didn't discuss that at all.
What happened last week?
That is a great way to summarise that. Because not much happened last week. Other than maybe like Vicaire defending both titles in the same night. But other than that, there was more towards the Obo and Trick stuff with Javon getting laid out. Also, Javon losing the Heritage Cup match against Lexus King because of interference from Obafemi. And then that led to Dark State, that led to Trick laying out Javon. And not much. It's just a lot of drama. And then Vicaire's the only talking point of last week, really. That's really it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Vicaire retained both her titles last week. She beat Jada Parker in the opener, and then she beat Fallon Henley in the main event. That's pretty much all there is to discuss from last week.
Yeah.
So, with that in mind, let's talk.
Doing nothing.
Let's talk this week. And it was, of course, April Fool's edition of NXT. An NXT edition full of jokes, full of surprise, full of banter. So how would we start the week off? We start things off with, of course, the reigning and defending dual Women's World and Women's North America Champion, Stephanie Vicaire. She's here, she's in the ring, she's ready to fight, maybe, I don't know. She's here, but she's in the ring with Ava. Okay, so we're going to announce some sort of big title match for Stand Deliver, probably. Right, because Ava's here, so saying big and official. Ava praises Stephanie for her work ethic and successfully defending both her titles last week. However, she and Vicaire have spoken and agreed that it would be best for business for Stephanie to relinquish the North American Championship. And that there will be a 6-woman North American title ladder match at Stand Deliver, for which the qualifiers will start tonight. What the fuck?
Hate to be that guy, but told you so.
Yeah. I don't understand what was the point of it, other than, buzz points. Like, look at that. Twitter, look at that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's still their Twitter banner. Her having both titles. Like, there was a way around it. We'll get to it, because there's still a whole segment to get through here before I get to that talking point. But Stephanie takes a moment to speak to the people, and she says that she understands the decision is not a popular one, but she wants to push the women's division, not stop it. And that is why she's doing this on one condition, that she can choose her challenger for the world title at Stand and Deliver. Ava agrees and it seems to be all set. She is distraught with Vicky. This was not her choice. Like, at all. You can see it in her face. She would have happily done 2 matches per show. Like...
Yeah. Got to the fight.
Yeah. Like, again, we'll get into it. So, everything seems to be all set for Stand and Deliver until we hear the sirens. It's Jordynne Grace. She's here once again to interrupt Stephanie Vickett. She cuts her off.
Oh, scare me.
And then she says that she's basically here to put her hat in the ring for Vickett to be her challenger of Stand and Deliver. However, before she can fully do that, she's cut off by Jada Parker. Didn't Jada lose to Stephanie last week? Back of the line, miss.
Yeah.
Anyway, she talks about how she was this close to beating Stephanie last week, and if Jordynne hadn't got involved, she'd have won. Jordynne then says that Jada does not understand how titles work because she's never held one. Tensions rise, and Vickett pops up to say that these two seem to have an issue that they need to work out. And of course, with that in mind, fists are thrown. Jada and Jordynne, they collide in the ring. Jordynne clears out Jada, and then we get a magnificent, almost majestic slide in from one of the security guards. It was on camera. He was just like,
got that down.
He's a wrestler. He's that one trainee in the center who's like got nothing right. He can't do promos. He can't do wrestling properly, but he can get the ring in perfect.
Yeah. Again, shout out to anyone who gets this reference, but it reminds me of referee James Greenwood slide. If you've ever seen Ref Greenwood at a show, that slide is perfect. So if you go and search up Ref James Greenwood and watch that slide of a referee from Phenomenal Elite Wrestling, well, go check that one out because
fair. That's absolutely fair. He's got a majestic glide himself.
Yeah. Going from the mask.
So yeah, security come in and break things up. Then they can't do anything because security can't do anything. So naturally, one is literally thrown out of the ring to the outside onto other security members.
Yeah.
It's an insane looking moment, which I had to rewatch because I thought no one caught him, and I was like, like,
like, oh no! Yeah, you definitely caught just, but
it nearly missed, but thankfully they're strong and they can hold from a misjudged throw. Like fucking hell. But yeah, besides the obvious, what were your thoughts on the opening segment? Besides the obvious.
Okay, besides that, I did enjoy it, although I'm not a fan of setting up potentially another triple threat at Stand and Deliver for a title. Not a fan of that. I'm not sure whether Jordynne Grace has necessarily earned a title match. Like she's beaten Roxanne Perez and beaten Jada Parker. Has she beaten Jada Parker? She didn't.
Not yet.
Has she beaten Jada? No. That's just Roxanne Perez then. And when it was involved in a 6-woman tag.
and
pretty much been it for Jordan.
And a Timberman tag too. You can't forget the Timberman.
Okay, as a contracted NXT star,
Fair.
2 matches. Or 3 maybe. But yeah, as much as I like Jordan Grace, I do get it because realistically, going for the roster, they haven't built anyone close to be able to being a challenger. At least with Jordan, you can put her straight into a title match, and she looks like she belongs. So there's that. The Jada Parker stuff. Okay, let's see what happens here. But beyond that, it was fine. I'm curious as to whether the security guard jumped or was legitimately thrown by Jordan that far. I think a bit of both.
I think it's a bit of both, yeah. I think because the rings are actually springed anyway, so there's springs in the ring anyway for jumping. So I think it was just a case of, he jumped, she threw. So, I think it was just a happy coincidence that he went like.
Yeah. Almost ended up backstage.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, if they did like an old 2000 style intro package for NXT, like a Raw Letdown sort of intro, that would be on the intro.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
In your eye.
The segment was fine. Like, if I'm giving it a grade, I'd go B-. Like, it was decent, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if I'm grading segments now, I would give it a B as well, I guess. Probably just a B, though, not a B-, but B. I enjoyed it. It helped build more towards what I assume was going to be a match anyway, between Jordan and Jada. But instead they decided to go just straight off Jada to fight Stephanie. So it was like, okay, whatever, cool. But yeah, it seems to be well on our way to that. We'll get more from that a bit later. But I want to go now into the talking point I have for this, which is, of course, the painstakingly, glaringly obvious issue of why has Stephanie McMahon relinquished the North American title? To what end does that benefit? And you could say because it helps the roster, because it gives more variety, or it allows for more than one women's match on the card because you can have 2 titles rather than one person have both titles. She can still do both. And something I discussed with Pencil and Nikki before a couple of days ago was the fact that you could have easily booked it as a multi-person match for the North American title with Stephanie in that match and had her lose by not getting pinned. Because there's so many people involved in this match. Like, you would have her and 5 others or 6 others, and someone else pins someone else, and then suddenly, Vacay's not champion anymore. Like, and then she can go on to have a match later on in the night for the world title.
Well, it doesn't even have to be that. You shouldn't have to have 2 matches that stand and deliver. Realistically, you go. The plan is now for a 6-woman ladder match for the North American title, for the vacant North American title. Mm-hmm. Why not have both titles in a ladder match, but you don't win both titles? You just have to get one down to win that title. Right, mainly with the tag titles.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
No, if you want to have multiple women on the card, have 8 people in that. Have 8 women in that match. Stephanie can then get the women's title back and lose the North American title. At least then it's not vacant and just sitting there gathering dust for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous call. And honestly, I thought because it was April Fool's Day that they were doing this show, I just thought, haha, joke. Like, it would be a pretty good troll on fans if it was like, oh, actually, just next week she holds up the title again, she's champion again. That would have been a pretty good troll. And they could still do it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, people would have went even more ballistic had they actually done that. But
Like, just having
the only positive.
Go ahead.
The only positive that I can think of for this is that it gives this title a fresh start. It gives them a fresh chance to make this title feel important.
I mean,
because it hasn't. It's a second chance, in my opinion. It feels like a second chance for this title, but where they go with it is going to be another scenario.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, she won it in when was it? February. The North American title, I mean, not the world title.
Yeah.
So she's had it for about a month and a half, which is an okay reign, I suppose. But if you're gonna have a double champion, you've got to have him hold it for at least a little bit of time. Like, not quite, not quite literally like a week or 2 weeks, whatever it was.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? You've got your championships, but again, playing devil's advocate a little bit, I do understand why they don't want Stephanie having to have 2 matches every couple of weeks, like on PLEs. I do understand that. I mean, Julia got hurt after a few months because she's doing a lot of stuff. So I do get why they don't want to, because wrestling 2 matches isn't good for anyone. Like, not back to back to back to back.
Well, then, a crazy idea then would be just don't book the match in the first place for both titles. Like, you can have a non-title champ v champ match between Stephanie and Julia. Like, there's no reason to have both titles online if you're not going to have a champion who defends both titles. And I'm not saying do it like 2 matches on the show or like on NXT or PLE, whatever. You can do it a week by week thing. Like, you can set up a challenger, like you can set up Fallon Henley, for example, to fight her on last week's NXT, and then she fights Jada on this week's show.
Yeah.
Like, you ain't got to do it as a 2 per show sort of thing. The 2 per show thing works if you're going to have Fallon beat Sakir.
Yeah.
Because it works better to have the heel win it off of an already exalted champion. Which is why, last time they announced this, I thought they were going to do that. I thought they were going to do Stephanie and Jada. Stephanie wins. Jada lays her out afterwards. Fallon comes out straight away for her match with Fakir and wins. Because we're taken out by Jada. That's what I assumed they were doing. And then to find out it was like, no, actually, Jada started the show and Fallon at the end of the show. I was like, oh okay.
They did. They had realistically set that up if they wanted to do it that way, but because they had Fatal Influence attack Stephanie after the match with Jada, so they could have done it that way if they really wanted to. I mean, it doesn't really make a lot of sense that Stephanie won the match against Fallon in the main event because I get it, you want to make her look strong, she's a double champ. But if you're just going to have her relinquish it the next week, put it back on Fallon. Because, I mean, so you have 3 champions, and after 3 champions, it's now vacant, and it's going to be vacant for the next 2 weeks. Which, isn't an awful lot of time, but at the same time, it also is quite a bit of time to not have that title around someone's waist on TV. I mean, Like, and then see, the only thing is, I'm looking forward to the ladder match. Like, I'm looking forward to a ladder match. I love a good ladder match, and ladder match at Stand and Deliver tends to go hand in hand a little bit. Like, so I'm not too disappointed in the match we're going to get, but it feels a little bit pointless. You know, again, I can understand why they did the match with Julia to an extent. If Julia is hurt and is taking some time off, okay, but to make it a title for title match when you could have built someone up in that time to take the title off Julia, it didn't have to be Stephanie to win that title. I mean, on the same show, you had Jordan Grace versus Roxanne Perez. Surely you could have done a WrestleMania 30 thing. Whoever wins that match faces Julia for the title in the main event. That would have been a nice way to set that up. But again, it's crap that it has the women's North American title is already vacated, and now we've got to do the whole thing over again.
Yeah, because we're quite literally where we were last year with this title.
Yep.
This title was vacant at last year's Stand and Deliver and was won in another match.
Yeah.
So we're quite literally restarting the entire thing. You might as well just literally like made the title defunct and brought in a new title, because that's essentially where we are with this now. This title is after this show. This title is nothing more than the prop. Like, it's a prop for WWE's social media. It's a prop for their, for their buzz numbers. It's just something for them to create social buzz on the internet, to be like, oh hey, look at that. That was cool, right? And it was just like, oh, well, it's gone now. You missed it. And I get the idea of being like, you've got to be in the moment, or like you got to watch it weekly, because if you don't watch it weekly, you might miss something. And it's like, oh well, you missed Vicaire now as dual champion. So I'm to put it lightly, I'm peeved. I'm peeved at this. It annoys me.
Yeah.
And while I'm excited for the match, because like you, I like other matches, I will have a bitter taste in my mouth when I see the winner of another match hold the title that Vicaire should be holding alongside her women's world title.
Yeah. It feels like they had an idea, but they didn't know how to finish the idea. It's just a thought.
Yeah.
And they went with it before they finished the complete thought.
Yeah. I mean, it goes to show you what I think the idea was. Julia and Vicaire as Stand and Deliver.
Yeah.
And they were forced to push it forward because of the injury. Which sucks, but at the same time, there are better ways you could have handled that. Like, as we both alluded to, there's two scenarios right there that we laid out that you could have done instead of relinquishing the title. Like, you can put over a bad person, a heel character, by having them defeat a exhausted Vicaire. Like, sort of like a Money in the Bank situation. Like, there's a way to get around that. Like, someone like a Jessie Jane. Like, literally, to someone who is not a good person, taking advantage of the fact that Vicaire can't defend herself because she's too exhausted. She's been too battered by whoever she fought before that she can't put up a good fight to defend against the fresh heel who's coming in. Like a Cora Jade, a Jessie Jane, a Fallon Henley, a Jasmine Nix, like an Izzy Dame. Fuck it, anyone. Like a Kalani Jordan, she's kind of evil now. Like Roxanne Perez, why not? Like Chelsea Green, someone from the main roster. Like just like there's so many different options you could have gone with this, and they did nothing. And that is, as someone who watched NXT for a long time, it is very disappointing to see it done that way. when there are so many people on social media, people who do podcasts, people who just talk wrestling, who don't advocate for this, because this is the weakest way to do it. You know, it's just, it sucks.
Yeah, it feels quite lazy.
You know, by all means, April Fools. You know, next week she's champion again. You know, I'll be angry, but at least she'll still be champion.
See, I am actually on the side of there shouldn't be two champions unless you're unifying the belts. That's my feeling on it. Unless you're unifying them, I don't like all. I go back to I think it's Diana Peraza. She was the AAA Reign Reigns and the Ring of Honor Women's Champion, and it was a champ challenge, an open challenge. Choose which title you want to fight for, and build off that, build the feuds off that. But yeah, I'm not a fan of defending them back to back. It seems to be what they wanted to do.
It's what I would have done personally, just to have a heel come in and like reap the benefits. But oh well,
I do get it, but
we're not there apparently because they're being lazy.
No idea what to do, and just went the easiest direction of faking the title.
Yeah,
and starting all over again.
Yeah. Oh well. Speaking of mediocre, we've got an Instagram reel next from Trick Williams. This is from over the weekend. And Trick is styling a fancy Whoop That Trick beanie that you can probably buy from www.shop.com. He calls out over for Tuesday, today, as in the show covering, and he calls Javon a bitch. That's quite literally all there was to that. We then cut to Femi in the parking lot getting interviewed. He's asked about being called out. He don't care. And he doesn't answer people who aren't the ruler, like him. Like Trick Williams. Okay. What are we doing? Like,
it's almost like we're on the road to WrestleMania weekend with Stand and Deliver coming up. And this is how we're going about it.
Yeah.
Cool.
This is the equivalent to an everyday event happening, and then just ask them what their thoughts are on it. Like, oh my god, that guy ate a sandwich. What do you think of that? Yeah, it was a great sandwich eating. They had the great stuff.
Yeah.
They
like how
the bread.
How do they? Oh, this is not doing a lot for me. This so-called feud.
No. We are now in the locker room. We see several members of the women's roster looking at a TV as Ava announces the qualifiers for the North American title. So this is a backdated segment, by the way, because we've already seen the stuff in the parking lot, so we know it's not live. And then arguments break out between Lola Vice, Cora Jade, leading to widespread arguing. A lot of anger, a lot of temperament, a lot of just cool.
Yeah. I did like Ellen Grace saying I would be interested, but ladders seem a bit dangerous. I did like that from Ariana.
That is a cool.
That was nice though.
Because of last time she was in a ladder match.
Yeah.
Where she didn't want to climb a ladder.
Yeah, it's a very nice touch. Ariana's so good.
Oh yeah, she absolutely is. It's a shame she's not utilised more on NXT, but it is what it is, I guess. Like
you can always tune in on Thursdays.
Yeah, true. But like the role that like a Robert Stone is in or Steve Turner is in, Ariana Grace could have benefited that as well.
Again, if you tune in Thursday, she kind of is in that role.
No, don't count. That's not NXT management.
But hey, if you want to hear Ariana on commentary with Tom Hannaford and Matthew Raywalt calling Tom Hannaford a bestie, or if you want Ariana putting the women's tag division and knockouts tag division in line, of course, watch on Thursdays.
What's on Thursday? Is that a show that Craig has not described at all what it's called?
It's TNA Wrestling because Ariana Grace is the liaison between NXT and TNA.
That makes sense.
She's the liaison.
It makes sense now because you said the name.
Yeah, context, I suppose. Context does help. But you should know, if you're watching this, you should know what Ariana is on a weekly basis.
You probably should, yeah.
Yeah. And also, I'm pretty sure her sash says Miss NXTNA now, so hey, there's a few hints.
But for those who are visually impaired, they're the ones who won't see the sash.
But I'm pretty sure audio description would audio describe it.
Would it? I mean, in a massive locker room like that, with all the women wearing different outfits.
She's talking, maybe. I have to go back and watch it with audio description. I'll see if they do.
Why are we discussing audio description on
a
wrestling show?
I don't know.
This is how you know.
I don't know.
This is how you know we've been away for a few weeks.
Bit of a ring rust.
A little bit. Speaking of ring rust,
it's
time for the first match of the night. It is one of the NXT North American Championship ladder match qualifying matches. Zarya with Sol Ruka taking on Lash Legend with Jakara Jackson. And of course, who come out on top? Who will be the first qualifying person for the NXT North American Championship ladder match at Stand Deliver? It would be, of course, Zarya. Zarya wins with the Cyclone because there's still no official name for it. It's an F5, but we can't call it that.
I know. We need a name for this.
It's just the Zarya move. Like, every time she's hit that move, it's been a commentator going, Zarya! Is the move called Zarya?
Maybe.
Buddy Ray would hate that name for a move. Just saying.
I mean, I don't think he does.
But yeah, so Zarya wins with the Cyclone. 3 stars I rated it. It was a decent opener, but Zarya did seem a little off her game. I'm not sure why. That's how I saw it. Lash, on the other hand, as well, also didn't come across as anything like really promising. It was kind of just a nothing match. To me, it was like a powerhouse match for the sake of being a powerhouse match, and they didn't really have much thought or purpose into it. It was just there. And I know they've been feuding a little bit on the side, like Metaphor and Zaruka, but it's just the match itself didn't do anything for me. And I hope next week we get Sol Ruka and Jakara Jackson to hopefully make things better. But these two here fighting in this here match could have been so much more than what it actually was. But I think it's just the chemistry is not there between the pair of them. I don't know. Obviously, you might think differently. I don't know. This is how I feel personally. But yeah, could have been easily a 4-star match, but 3 stars my rating. Decent opener, but just not really all that.
Yeah. Honestly, I found it very easy to get distracted watching this match by other things going on my phone, or like I catch myself trying to stop myself doing it, but there wasn't a lot to keep my attention during this match. The odd spot where they use their power, but that was pretty much all there was to it. Not a lot of substance to it as a whole. Cool, Zarya won. She's been there a few months and hasn't really had much going for her, like in terms of important wins. So it's nice that she's qualified for this match for standing and deliver. But yeah, it's fine. Nothing massively special. Honestly, I was more distracted by Sol Ruka dressed as a pirate, but beyond that, that's all I really pay much attention to.
Yeah, honestly, fair. I think Sol Ruka was dressed as an homage to the latest Yakuza game, the pirate game with
Okay.
Majima, which you probably have no idea what I'm about, do you?
I'll take your word for that.
Fair enough. But yeah, I can only apologise that this is the level of content we're getting here, where two people didn't really pay attention to this match.
It's because there's not a lot to pay attention to.
Yeah.
There's a lot more they could have done with this, but they
didn't.
Yeah, like I said, maybe the chemistry was just a bit off, but
is it just lazy as well? Like, because they didn't even announce much beforehand. Like, it was just there. Like, it's just like, oh, you know what? Here's a graphic of nothing. It was like, oh, yeah. Here you go. Match coming up next. Qualifying match between two who we don't know yet, because they're not on the screen on the graphic. It's just a blank graphic of just qualifier. Like, and I get it.
Yeah,
it's cool to have a mystery aspect, but not on a weekly TV show that's not already announced to have a mystery aspect.
See, honestly, I didn't mind that. There was a bit of mystery to it, and when Zarya's music hit, I thought, oh, okay, Zarya. Although I do think they should change the video because that Mad Max thing isn't doing anything for me anymore. It was the promo package, but they're using it as the Tron video. I don't really like that. Like it needs to be a bit more substance to that one. The Mad Max stuff isn't doing an awful lot for me. And then when Metaphor's music hit, I thought, oh, okay, who are getting Lash, Shaw, Jakara, and it was Lash. Well, this could be quite fun. Two powerhouses of the division. Let's see what they do. And there wasn't an awful lot done.
Obviously now we know Zarya qualified. I'm assuming we're going to go in the other direction. Sol Ruka and Jakara Jackson. I'm assuming.
That would make sense.
I could be wrong. It's just... It's
an
obvious route.
We're applying logic to something over a title that hasn't had an awful lot of logic applied to it. Yeah. Then maybe that's not what they do.
Yeah, true. We might get just like Sol Ruka versus like BritWres or something.
I mean, this is like, because obviously I am biased, but I'm kind of hoping we get a knockout involved in this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like,
we could also get an involved in this.
Yeah, I mean, they're starting to integrate them more now, slowly.
Don't remind me.
Like,
don't remind me, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's still to come on this show. But yeah, a knockout would be pretty cool. We could have an involved talent. We could have Kataya May still involved. Potentially, she's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I don't know. Make it different. Have a little bit of variance in it.
Was it Calyx from Evolve.
Oh, you mean just a car? The referee.
Yeah.
Yeah. She goes a
Never know.
mask, hides her face. It's a fun gimmick. I like it.
Yeah, I do. I think this. If they're starting to make turn into on-screen in-ring talent, yeah, I'm down. Let's see what we can do here. But yeah,
But yeah. So after that first match, we go backstage. We see Yoshiki Inamura, who is marking out over the fact that Zarya is going to stand deliver, which I thought was very. It was very nice, very sort of wholehearted, sort of like excitement to see Zarya
yeah,
is going to stand deliver. He's like, yeah, Zarya. And then Josh Brooks is like, yeah, buddy, we're also going to stand deliver. I was like, we're going to put our feet down, get in that ring, beat anyone in our way, and get the stand deliver. And then in come, the sports, the Killjoys, Wesley and Tyson DuPont and Tyro Kigwe. They all come in. They're mocking them. Wesley's like, don't set your expectations too high. You're not going to stand and deliver. However, before things can escalate, Yoshiki's like, I want a match with you, Wes. And I was like, alright, bet. And it's like, okay, I'm going to even now set up.
yeah. Nice and easy.
See, this is what Ricky Saints wants. No anger, just arrange matches.
Yes, keep it cool and just go get a match booked.
Exactly. There's no reason to fight at all. We then go to Ava's office with Kalani Jordan. Kalani also has expectations of going to stand deliver. However, before she can go fully into him, so does Roxanne Perez. Roxanne wants to win that title missing from her resume and become a Grand Slam champion. But the question is, will she? Because Ava announces officially for this show, we're going to get a second qualifier of the night. We're going to get Roxanne Perez versus Kalani Jordan. Fucking yes.
Okay.
I am so down for that in a show that has not exactly yet so far.
No. Again, that's what match didn't do an awful lot for me. I'm enjoying this side of Kalani a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still getting invested in Kalani, which I feel like I should be there by now. I'm just not quite.
Yeah.
But hopefully this match will move me a step forward.
Maybe. We'll see. After this, we get a vignette with the D'Angelo family. They're doing family intel on Dark State, which is very unlike them. It's like some weird MI high. It's like some very like MI6.
What a shout!
Yeah, no.
What a shout! On my high.
It's like some weird spy stuff where it's like, alright, crew, what we doing? We're to Dark State. Who's in Dark State? Well, who we got first? Well, on the first slide here, we got Dion Lennox. He wears glasses. He went to university. He's a former football guy. Cool. Who we got next? Cyrus Griffin. He's a former football guy. He can destroy people. He's like 6'8" or whatever. Okay, cool. Okay, Rizzo. Who you got? Well, boss, I got what's his name? Cutler James. That's it. Cutler James. Cutler James. This Aussie bloke. He's also tall and can destroy everyone. Also a former football collegiate. Cool. And who you got, Stacks? Well, I got the other one, Saquon Sugars, who is a wild card. He's also a former football guy. Cool. I don't like. Why are they doing intel? Like, I know they're a family, a mob, organized crime unit, whatever you want to call them. Like they're not. Why are they handing out PowerPoint presentations? They printed out PowerPoint slides of these people that are stapled together
Yeah.
like it's a fucking school project. Like, that's legitimately what I said MI high at first, because I thought first of a school project. I was like, MI6, school, MI high.
What a shout. Honestly, I didn't mind this. Like, nice way to, I guess, to introduce like to people who don't know who they are, the names of these people, because I've forgotten half of them. I knew Dion Lennox, I had no clue. So I did kind of like it because it does give us more who they are, even though it's copy and paste for a lot of them. Just
It really is.
I mean, but again, that's the case with half the NXT roster.
That is also very true.
Like it's very, very on brand for NXT. It's very on brand for WWE. Like, you can go through any member of the entire roster, and you can guarantee at least you'll come across in the first page. You'll come across 5 people who are former college footballers or didn't make it to NFL and all that stuff. Look at the entire bloodline is based off that. But again, I do think Trick is involved in this group. I think Trick is running this group, but it's fine. I'm more interested in the story going on between Stax and Tony.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it does feel like Stax is gonna go from underboss to Don and take Tony out, send Tony onto the main roster.
Yeah, I don't think.
Which I would yeah.
Oh no, I was just gonna let you because I thought you were done.
Yeah, it just feels that way, which I'm not against. I hope it's done right, but it's like this segment I thought was a nice, good way to introduce the names of the rest of the group, because like I said, I had no idea who they are, so it helped me.
Fair. I mean, for everything you said, I do agree. I think it's a good way to introduce them. It's just, I can't get over the aesthetic of it all. Of it just in this darkish room with unnamed bodyguard 1 and 2 behind him, sort of like, yeah, we got a really secretive meeting here with these little PowerPoint slides for the business. Here you go, guys.
Yeah,
that's sort of like
a secretive meeting, which is, again, this is an issue with WWE in general. It's supposed to be a secret meeting, but they had cameras there.
Yeah.
Like, we're supposed to ignore the fact that there's cameras in that room.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're not doing it like fly on the wall style. It's very much, here are the cameras, cut.
Yeah.
Like, okay, it feels like they could have done. Also, it feels like they could have done this at the restaurant.
Yeah, they could have, and potentially even had.
It didn't need to be backstage.
Like, does they potentially even like raid the restaurant or something, and they destroy the restaurant potentially?
That should be how they take that. If they're seriously want to build a feud, I don't know who they're feuding with. Are they feuding with the D'Angelo family? Are they feuding with
everyone?
Trick Oberyn.
Everyone.
Yeah, like, if they're feuding with the family, go and destroy the restaurant. That will build a feud.
Mm. But
if they're not, then
I don't know. But what I was going to say earlier, about Stax was I don't think it's a standalone plan for Tony and Stax. It's way too close now to stand alone to even consider doing that. I don't think it's the next one either. In I think it's June or July. It'll be Battleground or Heatwave, whatever it's called.
Huh?
I could see it being maybe like a Halloween Havoc sort of thing, or like towards like the August, the SummerSlam show.
Okay.
Yeah,
again, I can see that.
It's just you need to build it, and they've started the building blocks of like the distrust and the misjudgment. It's there.
Yeah.
The question is obviously, will Rizzo and Luca join Stacks or be against Stacks?
That's it. That's what I'm excited if they can build this right. I'm really looking forward to this. Like, and I'm not even sure who side I'm going to be on. Like, I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, absolutely. I look forward to the story of it, but I'm not really invested in the characters per se, if that makes sense.
That's fair.
I've never been into the character of Tony D'Angelo, like this, this Sicilian family mob boss who may or may not do crimes. Like NXT 2.0 was a wild time of like seeing what people were doing. Like Tony D'Angelo was like a very early case of, oh my god, what is 2.0 doing? Like, but
no, that's fair.
Yeah, we'll see. Obviously, we'll see. I like the story behind it. I like the idea of just distrust and a potential turn or potential breakaway, or whatever. But I'm not really interested in the characters. But yeah, after this we go backstage because we don't know how to do much on this show. We're backstage with Hank and Tank. They have new outfits, and they're quite fetching, if not a little familiar.
You could say they're very pretty.
You could say that. You could. Like, there's this really high up crop tops, like to about there, and then with the arms, and it's like, very fetching, very pretty. And it's revealed that they were taking advice, not wrestling advice, mind you, but fashion advice from Pretty Deadly. Yes, boy. I popped.
Yeah. Gouge.
Pretty Deadly are there to give them tips on fashion, how to look the part, rather than actually be the part. Because, they were tag champs in NXT on both times, in 2.0 and in NXT itself.
NXT UK.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but they're there, they hype them up, and they get them to feel themselves. To not only say the honk honk, but to feel the honk honk. It just sounds like euphemism. You gotta feel the honk honk.
Loved this. Loved it.
Hank and Tank are beginning to feel themselves in the outfits. Like, yeah, this is gonna work. Yeah, and in come NQCC, Tavian Heights and Miles Bourne, who were like, "What are you doing?" Yeah, and like people who are gonna get their ass kicked.
Yep.
And then out of embarrassment or anger or whatever, Hank and Tank ditch the outfits and then walk off. Which is a shame. But, oh well. Pretty near there. I'm fine with that. My boys.
Yes, boy.
My boys from the longest time. Like, they were my boys, like, on the indie circuit in Britain, in the UK.
Yeah.
Love them so much.
So good. So good.
I'm hoping to win the title soon. On my roster.
They have to, like, it has to be done at Mania. It's Pretty Deadly when the tag titles at WrestleMania would be. That'd be the biggest pop in the night for me.
Honestly, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, whatever, in London, and they win them there. They're both.
It should have won them as well.
They're both London-ish boys. They're like the outskirts of London.
They should have won them on SmackDown, but
well, yeah, they should have, but trips.
I think you can get that.
After this, we get a vignette with the culling. They clamber around the men's North American title, like they're sort of stalking it in a circle, and talk about how Sean will have a chance to represent the culling as they destroy Ricky Saints and they destroy his so-called revolution. Cool.
All right.
Cheers, guys.
That happened.
Yeah. So after this, we get the second match of the night, which is a tag team match. It's Hank and Tank, Hank Walker and Tank Ledger, taking on the NQCC, Tavian Heights and Miles Bourne, accompanied by Ren Sinclair and Charlie Dempsey. The NQCC win with the combination fireman's carry and DDT. I rated 2.5 stars. It was okay.
Oh.
It was okay.
Oh.
Hank and Tank, while I love them, they do not measure up anywhere near the ability of the NQCC. I think they're still in that process of trying to find what works for them, and they haven't found it just yet. Hank and Tank, because there was a time a few months ago when you could have pushed them, and they would have been at the highest point of their being over. And it feels like that boat has now sailed. Like it's gone. You've missed it. Like because Hank and Tank feel like another team in a division, and that's about it for them. They're essentially they're comic relief now. They're the R truth. They're the R truth now of the tag division in NXT. Like they're there for shits and giggles. Like at some point they may win titles, but it'll be a fluke, and they'll lose them within a few weeks. So like Chase U. Like NQCC are heads and shoulders probably the best team in NXT. Like, I'm saying that above Fraxium. Like, there's a natural ability to Tavian and Miles, and Charlie as well, and Ren, like, that you don't see on other teams or other groups. Like, the NQCC, American made, you know? These are the groups that are, you know, the modern day Team Angles. Like, athletic ability is there. Natural wrestling ability, it's there. Like it's like they're born with it, like Maybelline. You know, it's like it's just there naturally. And seeing them essentially run circles around Hank and Tank made me realise that, you know, Hank and Tank aren't necessarily at the same level. which is sort of why I rated it 2.5.
I don't think I'm on the same page. Like, it was around the time where they beat the Good Brothers. That's when they should have been pushing Hank and Tank. But it kind of just fell flat. It was a few multi-man matches. Never really got the opportunity. And I do like what they're doing with, you know, getting advice from the Hardys, from Machine Guns, and now from Pretty Deadly. I do like that. But it's what are they doing with this? Where's this going? Because so far, none of the advice they've been given has worked. Is it going to be we're trying to be like these other tag teams, let's just try and be ourselves, and then they get the opportunities? But they were doing that before, and now it's just not happening again. So I don't know what they're going to do with them in terms of the booking of the next few months, because Yeah, the only tag team, like I said, the only tag team who's from me is even close to challenging is the NQCC. Like they are the next tag team champions, as long as they do it right, as long as they do it as soon as they can. Because Fraxium are slowly running out, so they need to do this. And yeah, it's just I want Hank Attack to do well. They need more. And honestly, I think a little run in TNA might do them some favors. Like get up against different tag teams because they've lost to every tag team on the roster. If they can go over to TNA, beat a few tag teams there, I don't know, kind of thinking about tag teams. Beat First Class, for instance.
Like this is the first and probably only time I'll ever advocate for this. But they'd benefit from a program with the system or First Class.
Yeah,
because they're heels who will call out the bullshit, like who will call out them for being goofy geeks and stuff like that. Like, and then the reward of having Hank Tank beat them, despite being goofy geeks, will put them over. And and that's how you build a comedy team. Because they may not be the best wrestlers. Hell, they may not be just the best NXT roster members or even TNA roster members. You know, it's just they are the ones that people love. And you've got to build the crowd connection with them. And you do that by putting them with outspoken heels. Like, having like an Ethan Page run them down because they're these goofy geeks. So, you know, these guys who can't kite anywhere. Like, they couldn't kite in the Indies, never mind NXT. Like, they couldn't kite in their, you know, in their football fields. You know? Like, it's just, you call out that sort of stuff and it makes it work. Like, like it works. Like in the old days, you'd have, you know, like an Al Snow, right? European champion Al Snow come out every week, representing some sort of place in Europe. He'd be like, you know, hailing this week from Barcelona, Spain. The next week, hailing this week from Paris, France. Like, why wearing a fucking a beret or something? Like,
it worked.
Yeah,
it worked.
You've got to do goofy shit with goofy characters. With like Hank and Tank. They're goofy characters. Like, you got to do that to make it work and to have fans appreciate and like them. Like, it worked with Austin. It worked with Rock. They were talkers, but they were goofy. Like, no one's gonna tell me the what chant or Austin going what is not goofy. Because it's the definition of goofy.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
or Rock going like, talk about, you know, being a jabroni beating, pie eating, eyebrow raising. Like, that's goofy. It's funny.
I mean, it helped that it was of its time, but I do see where you're coming from, and I also think getting Hank and Tank away from their home audience could also be a better test for them to see exactly where they are. Because every week, you know, they're in front of the crowd at the performance center who see them every week almost. Like, getting them out of their comfort zone as a new tag team and I think going against the system, going against First Class. This is where this partnership is a benefit to both companies. Like, because Hank and Tank needs something other than being on the NXT roster every week and losing to the same teams every week. So there needs to be more to what they're doing other than, how's this not working? We got advice from the Hardys, we got advice from Machine Guns, now we've got advice from Pretty Deadly. How is this not working? It's because it's the same teams. They don't know how to beat in the DQCC. They don't have to beat Dallas or whoever they've been facing. Like, it needs more than just. It needs to be because they're like many cases with the NXT roster. A lot of people haven't been anywhere else other than NXT, and they'll train to wrestle in WWE. Get them somewhere else. It doesn't necessarily have to be TNA. If they're working relationship, go to Japan. That will do the same thing. In fact, I think Japan would do them so much good in terms of the talent over there in Noah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or have them compete in Bloodsport. Like, there's more they can do.
Like, if you expose them to an international audience, not just America, like Europe, Japan, Australia, like, we all love goofy shit. Like, we appreciate goofy shit. Like yeah. I hate to mention it. In the UK, Grado, you know, I personally hate the guy, but I understand he's over because he's a goof.
Yeah, and look at everything he's done. He's on a BBC sitcom.
Yeah, literally. Like,
Two of them.
Just exposing Hank and Tank to a more international audience via, you know, Pro Wrestling Noah, you know, via Big Japan, or where I feel like they personally benefit more, DDT. The you know, quote unquote comedy promotion of Japan. Like, they could do stupid gimmick matches as a tag team, and it'd probably work for them because DDT has always been a fine mixture of actual proper good wrestling and just comedic stuff, as like the light-hearted stuff, which always works. And then
it does because
because like there's also in Noah, in BJW, there's these big fucker tag teams like who are like proper built, muscly and shit, and you could put like Hack Attack in the ring against them and be like, oh shit. It's, I don't know.
mean,
there's so much you can do.
It's even having them face Jack Morris and Daga, like that would be a great match for them.
Mm-hmm.
I think it seems like it just needs to get out of the comfort zone a little bit because, like I say, it's the same audience every week, and that's not a good level of judgment to have when it's the same crowd.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like, it's not a good barometer for how over a team is, because it being in the same place week in week out damaged TNA. No one can tell who was over because they weren't going elsewhere. Like, NXT are traveling more, but still not enough, and they're not featured on the shows where they weren't featured at the theatre at Madison Square Garden. They weren't featured on at the 2300. They weren't featured in Atlanta. So it needs to be more.
Absolutely. And Sean, if you're watching this, because apparently someone is in NXT,
yes,
you missed a chance with Hang a Tank on your terrestrial TV. You missed it. It's gone now. You can't bring it back. You've got to do something else with Hang a Tank and not having to do the same shit every week. Like, yes, they get advice from, this legendary tag team, or this current day tag team, or the current tag champs, or whatever. It needs to go beyond that. Because at some point, they've got to be comfortable with themselves. And they might be, but they need to get more uncomfortable to try out newer things and improve what they can do from a promo point of view, from a character point of view, from a wrestling point of view, to just improve. And not calling them bad, but when you put them in the ring with people like the NQCC, like Octavian Heights and the Miles Bourne, who aren't the best on the mic, but they are phenomenal in the ring. It really highlights your issues as a tag team, as in-ring wrestlers. It's just, if a team's running circles around you and that's not the idea of the match, that's when you got to look in the mirror and sort of be like, you know what? I should probably send those two out to other promotions, like reach out to other places and see if we can get them featured there and get them to improve and learn more by being in the ring, in the company with other wrestlers who have been doing it for X amount of years or doing a gimmick for a certain amount of years to understand better ideas and how to improve their own selves.
Yeah.
There's a way around it. There's always a way around it. And
there is.
I don't know.
There absolutely is.
It's just,
it could very, very much, very easily end up with Hank and Tank getting complacent because they're not. It's the same place. It's the same position, and going to another promotion. What's the saying? Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah.
If they're away from NXT for a bit, when they come back, they'll get a massive reaction, especially if they've done well in whatever promotion they go to on and do a few weeks there.
Yeah.
It'll do well.
Like, just do a sabbatical for a year and a half, something like that. Like, sort of like a young lion, like a excursion journey. Like, let them just go Japan, go to Australia, go to the UK. Like, come to the UK, do UK shows. I'm not biased at all.
NXT needs to get their asses back over to the UK so we can actually go to a show together.
Oh, absolutely. Like, take over.
I guess need to get their asses back over to the
UK. Ain't got to take over now, is it? Just one of the PLEs in England.
Yeah, or something.
The UK, yeah. Like, just something.
Yeah, something.
We've only had the one back in 2015.
That was a glorified house show.
It was, yeah. It had a steel cage.
Did it?
Did it not? I don't remember. Wasn't it Joe and Finn?
Isn't that in Japan?
That might be in Japan. Shit.
Yeah, I think that was Japan. When was it on NXT UK and NXT when it came over in 2015?
All I remember from that show is Bailey and Nia Jax.
Also, American Alpha versus I want to say Cass and Enzo and Cass.
Oh God!
I think
was that the match?
Or it might have been no. It was Enzo and Cass versus the Revival.
Oh God! I think
it was Enzo and Cass and the Revival. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because that would have been like Blue Pants here too, wouldn't it? For Enzo and Cass.
Yeah.
So it's a good chance that
maybe.
The UK got Leah Bates as Blue Pants.
Yeah, maybe.
Great. But yeah, off that tangent. We move on from Hank and Tank and how to improve Hank and Tank to an in-ring segment with Trick Williams. Trick wants over. He called him out last week and he heard nothing. So here he is now. He fought for the right to be the man in NXT. You're not the man in NXT. He's sacrificed for that right to be the man in NXT. You're not the man in NXT. He claims that he is him. You're not him. He claims that the haters didn't want him to get to the top. That is correct. But he gets it now. Cool. Here comes Javon Evans to save the segment. Trick claims that last week's actions was just collateral damage, where he hit Javon during the altercation with Dark State. Javon then throws shade at Trick, saying that Javon never had to be in anyone's shadow before it was his time. Trick says that Javon's in Trick's shadow. Trick goes on a tirade about how he knows what it's like to be champion, to be a locker room leader, to carry that title around day in, day out, but Javon has no idea what that's like. Javon says that Trick is acting exactly like how Carmelo Hayes did a year back, and that while all that's well and good, Trick is trying to talk down Javon. Javon did something that Trick hasn't, and that is dropping over Femi. And of course, the cardinal sin in wrestling, if you mention someone's name, they're going to appear, because here comes Over Femi. I believe in Over. Oba comes out. He's not doing a strut. He means business. He comes out, cuts off Trick, and begins to talk to Javon. Basically, little broing Javon, like Trick did earlier. Then we get the ultimate little broing, as Trick antagonizes Javon, and Javon gets heated, and Oba puts his hand out in front of Javon to stop him from attacking Trick. The ultimate little bro actioning. Out comes Ava at this point to put a stop to this before it turns violent, announcing that it will be a triple threat match, a stand and deliver for the men's NXT World Championship. As if we didn't see it coming, 3 weeks ago. But it's not long now until fists are thrown, because Trick levels Javon with a straight right, and Oba clears out Trick, which leaves Oba standing in the ring. Then the lights go out. It's Dark State, and you can see as the lights are flashing, you see Cutler James running to his position. You can literally just see him running to his.
Yeah.
They approach the barricades quickly, and they jump to the ring. They're pouncing on Oba. They attack Javon as well, hitting him with a slingshot back body drop that sends Javon about 20 feet in the air to land on a microphone, spine first. I don't know if you noticed that or not. But
yeah.
I would not want to take that bump.
Nah.
They lay out Oba a bit more, and then in comes Trick, who has a stare down with each of them. And then they attack Trick. And then they do their... Frankly, I like this move. I know what it's called, though. They do their assisted throwing powerbomb on Trick. And as it happens, Ava stands on the rampway. Pretty sure she was smiling.
She was smiling! I knew she was smiling! I was waiting for someone to confirm it, but she was smiling!
Yeah. At this point, I get it. Triple threat match. Cool. Confirmed. Sweet. Dark State. Why are they here? What are they doing? Who are they here for? Why? Like, there's Tony D'Angelo, there's Overing, there's Javon Evans, there's Trick Williams, there's Ava, who's now involved in this somehow. Is she the fifth person of Dark State? I don't know. Like, is
Robert Stone?
Robert Stone too? Yeah, of course. Is it Stevie Turner? Is she the fifth person of Dark State? Like, is Dark State NXT management sort of thing going on? Like, have management hired them? So like how Paul Heyman hired the Shield allegedly to take out Ryback? Like, like I don't know. One thing I will say: Dark State is Retribution, but done correctly.
Okay.
This is what they should have with Retribution. Like, you didn't need chainsaws to cut up ring ropes. You didn't need to go that stupid like that with Retribution, because that ruined them. But, as well as the bad booking. But...
And people leaving the group.
And that too, yeah. Because it wasn't... Mercedes Martinez was part of that at first, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And then she wasn't.
Yeah.
I quite like Dark State in what they are. They need a leader, and that will be, I'm assuming, confirmed at some point in the very near future. Whether that's Trick, whether that's Javon, or whether it's Ava. I kind of like the twist to be Ava, to be honest. I don't think it will be, but I like the twist to be Ava.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That would be fun.
Like her personal hit squad to like deal with her problems. Like, fucking, she's had issues with that in the entire roster. Like, it makes sense why I'm targeting everyone now.
Yeah. But, I mean, as much as it'd be fun if it was Ava, surely she could just call her family up and they can just come down and deal with it.
Just, can you imagine the pop of that every week? Just like you hear the final boss music.
I mean, I'm thinking more Solo and like the Tongans and Jacob Fatu, but yeah.
Like, Chicken Fatu, NXT, sign me up. Fatu and over me.
Oh, you what? Okay, just throw Bronson Reed in there as well.
You know what? Yeah, fuck it. Bring him back to NXT and just free him.
It's better than, by the way, better than the thrill that we have for Sand Deliver now.
It would be, yeah. But yeah, so what do you think of that entire segment?
Okay, so the promos, all filler, no killer. There was nothing to this promos. It was just a lot of bro, and let's talk about it and what it is. It felt like they were just, yeah. It just felt like they were padding the promo out with catchphrases or slang words and stuff like it.
You know when you do an exam or an essay. Yeah,
yeah.
Like, fit it in like 4,000 words or something, and you just write like,
yeah.
I really liked this because it reminded me of a time when I did this, and then when I did that, I really liked how I did that back then.
Yeah, get the word count up. Yeah, that's exactly what his promos were. Apart from Oba delivered on his promo. And that's not a good look for Javon and Trick. Javon's been wrestling longer than both of them combined, and Trick has been champion and was there before Oba. That's not a good look that Oba Femi came in.
Oba is the least experienced wrestler out of the three of them.
Yeah.
And he's outshining them so much.
He's levels above. And that's not a good look for those two. So yeah, it was just like padding out the words in the promos until Oba came out. Then the scrap, all right, expected. Not a fan of the triple threat because it's not. I'm not invested in Trick. I'm not invested in Javon, and this is just going to be a win for Oba. So it's not. Is this going to be the main event of Stand and Deliver? Because
it is, yeah, it is.
That's nah. Then Dark State coming out. It's been bugging me for a couple of weeks. With their entrance and their demeanor and stuff of where I've seen it before. The entrance, it's a mix of Sanity and the Shield, and then the finisher, it's the Shield meets Spirit Squad.
It is. Oh my god, it is.
It is. It's the Shield meets Spirit Squad.
Oh my god, it's literally the Spirit Squad. Like, whew, it literally is. Oh my god.
Yeah. It's been bugging me for a couple of weeks of where I've seen that before.
I love it even more now. Mikey! Kenny!
And the others.
Mitch, was it?
if anyone can remember anyone other than Mikey, Nikki, and Kenny, then give yourself 10 bonus points because.
Yeah.
But it's just it was just bugging me for a little bit of where I've seen that all before, and the mask as well, Retribution. So it's kind of just a melting pot of all those groups.
Yeah.
Which if it's working so far, so fair enough. But yeah, they do need an out and out leader, and I still think it's Trick. Even though you've got the plight of they attack Trick too, not as quickly.
Yeah.
And also with factions who aren't being led or have a leader somewhere that no one's seen, they attack their leader. They always do it. Bully Ray and Aces and Eights, they attack Bully Ray every week. I mean, how many times did the NWO or the Outsiders beat up Hogan? Like, that's what they do to throw off the scent or whatever. But I think Trick's leading this group, and honestly, I think if Trick's leading this group, it might do more harm than good. Because I can't. If that's where they're heading, I know this is all just like guesswork. Of course it is. But we've seen enough wrestling to get an idea of where it could head, and I don't see it working with Trick. Trick isn't that kind of bad guy.
But you know who it could be? Ava.
Who? If it's Ava.
All I'm saying is, remember when they laid out the NQCC that 1 week? And that included Ren Sinclair.
Yeah.
There almost has to be a woman involved because WWE don't do men and women violence.
No.
So there almost has to be a woman involved somehow. Ava fits the bill.
That's a good point.
And Ava is a former wrestler herself.
Yeah, she was part of a group that attacked people.
So I mean,
it's possible.
I honestly don't. I don't hate it. I really don't hate it. Like a corrupt GM who has a personal hit squad to deal with her issues with roster members.
Like Bischoff and 3 Minute Warning.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly like that, actually. Yeah, and she's related to the fucking to the hit squad.
3 Minute Warning. Literally our uncles or cousins, uncles, second cousins, whatever they are.
Like it writes itself.
Oh,
like it'll be a shame now when it is Trick Williams, but where it could have been.
And if she wanted to, I mean, there's currently on the independent scene an active wrestler who is the son of a member of 3 Minute Warning.
Exactly.
In Zilla Fatu.
Yeah, literally.
Even has Zilla into it.
There's so much you can do with this. Don't give it to Trick. Let Trick retire to the main roster. Let him do stuff with Carmelo on SmackDown. I don't know. Let him do what he was doing over there. Like, just you know what? Take Trick up there. Bring Carmelo back to NXT. Let us enjoy NXT again with Carmelo Hayes at the helm. Just But I know what I did.
Melo back at NXT, yes.
I know what I did have though is Dark State are outsiders, right? They're people who feel ostracized from how NXT is, the wrestling world. It could be a new signing that they've kept under wraps. Who's leading Dark State? Someone who has a history with the company, who's not exactly happy with how things were or how things are being displayed nowadays.
I mean, take your pick. Not sure of options, to be fair.
Who's probably the highest profile active wrestler on the indie circuit who has a history with the company and wasn't recently released, because that would make no sense. Someone who's like, oh, it's Baron Corbin, he's back. Like, no, I don't mean like that.
No, I know. There's a few, but I can't see it being any of them. My first thought was Matt Cardona, but I don't think he'd come back for that.
Matt Cardona.
Cardona. If Cardona came back, I think go straight to the main roster as Matt Cardona.
They've teased it for a while, or he has anyway. Like he's teased wanting to go back to WWE. Like,
yeah,
he makes enough money himself on the indies because he's got his little rackets going, but he can make bank on WWE, and he knows that, NXT especially is a place that fosters independent talents and sort of promotes them in a way that even the main ones don't do. Like,
no,
there's working with NXT, you get connections to other companies as well. Like, Matt Cardona could do it himself. He could. But he could do such good stuff as a leader of this gang of outcasts. Like, he is the indie king. You know, he is
and I mean,
of the indies, you know? Like, literally, he could be the leader of these, not indie guys, but the leader of these outcasts.
Yeah. And, WWE and GCW are working together now.
It's there. I'm very disappointed with Richard Williams, but there's two options.
Yeah, it's going to be true.
There's two options that are right there. You know, personal hit squad of Ava, or Outcast being led by the King of the Indies, Matt Cardona. There's options, and
it's possible.
Like
it's going to be trick.
But therefore I was Javon Evans as well, as like the more sensible, like within the NXT roster, sort of.
Again, I don't think Javon could carry this group because it needs to be someone who's got experience.
Yeah, Javon has,
because all four of these guys,
at least.
Yeah,
but that's about it.
I mean, like all four of these guys, their experience is limited, and so is Javon's.
Yeah,
he had an independent career, but he wasn't on the independent scene very long before getting signed. So I can see it, but I feel like it's almost obvious to this point that's going to be trick, but you never know.
You know what? WWE, NXT, Shawn Michaels, whoever's in charge of NXT, just prove us wrong. You know, quite literally, I think anyone other than Trick could be the leader of Dark State, and it would be better than if Trick did it.
Yeah, especially if Trick's going to main roster soon.
Yeah,
it feels like a bit pointless.
Bring in someone who's going to have some longevity at the helm of this. Like, we've got the Culling, we've got the Family, we've got the NQCC. You know, we've got big groups of people. You know, and they've all got a woman involved.
Yeah.
Dark State haven't got a woman involved. Not yet.
Yeah.
And who better to have it in your pocket, or not in your pocket, but like as your helm, as your leader, as the literal general manager of NXT.
Mm.
Ava fucking Reigns.
Yeah, the man next year.
Ava Reigns back. And you could build storylines off that as well. The corrupt GM versus Roxanne Perez, the corrupt GM versus Jada Parker. You can build things off of that, like as like the heroes of the roster trying to take down the corrupt GM. Sort of like there's a lot of things you can do with that.
Yeah, there is, but I feel like they just go. It would end very quickly with Shawn Michaels like letting firing Ava. And that's over.
I mean, you true, but like you just Shawn is very, you know, she'll do what she does. She's the Rock's daughter, allegedly. So
Yeah.
I mean, play into that as well.
Yeah.
Play into that. You're the daughter of the owner of the company. Like,
Yeah. Well, yeah. My dad's on the board of directors. You can't fire me. I'm untouchable.
yeah, exactly. So I'll do what I'll do, and you can't do shit, Sean. Get Sean involved as an on-screen character. Like he's actively against what Ava's doing, but he can't do anything because his hands are tied. Because it's above his pay grade.
And yeah, and a good way to get Darkseid over, have him attack Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, quite literally. And you could build Sean.
If you want to get heat on this group, yeah, is it you want to get heat on this group? Have him attack Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, get rid of War Games on the main roster. Bring it back to NXT. Dark State versus Team Shawn Michaels. War Games.
It'll be good, but I feel like we've overbooked this slightly. I think we're ahead of NXT in the bookings on this. I think we're definitely ahead of NXT on this one.
Let's read it back. Back to modern day NXT.
We've got our entire storyline in 5 minutes.
We are in the medical office with Andre Chase. Things calm down from what we saw almost instantly as we're in the office with Andre Chase. It's revealed that he's got cracked ribs from his match with Ethan Page. He's told there's no return timeline for cracked ribs, so just whenever that they heal. And he's then asked, has he got a ride home? Weird wording for that question, but I know what he means. Andre says he's all alone. Thea Hale, anyone? Riley Osborne?
God.
Like Riley's on Evolve, I think. Like,
yeah,
it's a really weird thing because he was on NXT. Like him, Carly Bright, Kendall Gray, they've all been on TV. Brindley Reese has been on TV. Why are they on Evolve?
Wendy Chu.
Yeah,
on Evolve.
She's on Evolve. Yeah. Whatever. In comes Oriah Connors and Kale Dixon to offer the wheelchair support. And they wheel Andre away. And suddenly there's commotion.
Big wheelchair.
Big wheelchair, actually, yeah, good point. It's revealed that the commotion came from a fight in Jordan Grace and Jada Parker. They've been fighting for the past hour backstage. Because security is so useless that they've been fighting this entire time. We just keep trying to break them up, but they couldn't do it.
Referees have to do it instead.
Yeah. So, yeah, they fight, and then Jada wins technically, and then she walks in, and then she walks off. Until she doesn't, and comes back with a hip squat with a hip splash that misses.
Yeah, brutal.
And then that's about it. After this, we go backstage with Fraxium, who approach Hank and Tank. And Nathan hasn't got a shining review for Hank and Tank, to be honest. And Axiom wants to be a bit more discreet about how they feel about Hank and Tank. Axiom does reveal a bombshell, however, that he wishes that he and Nathan had a friendship like Hank and Tank. Which is... It sucks to hear that because of how long they've been attached out to.
Yeah, for a long time.
And you've not got a friendship that they have. Maybe, you know, there's red flags and there's toxic relationships. You know, just, you know, actually get out of there, man.
Just break them up if you're going to break them up, because I'm sick of waiting for it. I'm fed up of it now.
Mm-hmm.
Just do it.
So yeah, the catch they've been off guard. However, there's no real time to resist that because Hank and Tank are leaving. They walk off because we're now in the rush part of this episode, where everything feels rushed now. But they walk off, and that's not all, because we are now introduced on NXT TV to Evolve Team Swipe Right. a team of fuckboys or beta cucks, or as Tezzy rightly called them, scrubs. Their names are Brad Baylor and Ricky Smokes, and there's a lot of broing. They go bro, yeah. Do you want to do this, bro? Yeah. How about you, bro? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing. They want to see how they measure up against Fraxium. So I guess we're getting that next week. Or on Evolve.
Oh,
I don't know.
I can't stand these twats. And they are twats.
They are quite literally fuckboys. They are the douches that you see on Love Island.
Yeah. That gimmick is not going to work for the next... I don't know how long. That's an NXT gimmick, fine. But if they ever get good enough to the main roster, that gimmick is going to be dog shit.
It's shit now. We've seen Ashante Adonis do the exact same gimmick for the last few months with Karl Petrovic.
Yeah.
They're going to walk into the women's locker room and be like, hey, ladies. No. This is not the culture you want to promote.
No, I mean, it's...
Swipe right, yeah. Tinder, yeah. You're a fuckboy. If you use Tinder and literally your thing is swipe right on every single profile, because that's what swipe right means essentially in their case. Yeah. You don't care.
Yeah.
You do not care. You are a fuckboy who will fuck anything that consents to being fucked.
Also, they look about 12.
Yeah, they do. They look really
young. What is this? Because this may work on independence, but this is fucking WWE. What is this gimmick? What's the plan here? What's the plan?
The worst part is that they're going to be really talented tag team. That's the worst part.
They are. They have to change this gimmick because these are the first people to feature on NXT from Evolve.
Well,
so clearly you think there's something with this group.
What did you?
Okay, someone who hasn't been on NXT before, part of the ID program.
Yeah.
This. So clearly you think there's something there for this group. I mean, the triple threat they had in the 6-man tag they had in the first Evolve was good, but it was better because of the other team.
Yeah.
This is going to be nah.
I don't mean it as shame, but I kind of do. This is the sort of gimmick you see on NWA. This is the sort of gimmick you see, and you said, on the indies. This thing would work on the indies because, again, no shade, but it is kind of shade. Indie fans who like this are fuckboy incels. You're not worth the breath. But it works for those audiences. The NXT audience is not that. The WWE audience is not that either. There's actually there is a section of it, but the section that we don't talk about.
There's an independent team. This gimmick can work and it can do bits for your career, but it has to be toned down. I mean, look at Lance Rivera, for instance. Mm-hmm. He's the Playboy Prince, but it works because it's not up here. It's down here in terms of, or he's your girlfriend's favorite wrestler. Even though he got it from Chris Bay, but I digress. It can be done, but when you're calling Roxanne Perez a smoke show, dial it back a little bit.
Yeah.
Dial it back a little bit.
I intentionally left that off my notes, but yeah, that did happen.
Well, yeah.
Like,
and also, they looked for a little bit for a bit too long.
Yeah.
Like when Roxanne walking past, they looked a bit too long.
I want to think that they've done this once now. They know the error. They know that it was wrong, and they won't do it again. However, we've seen Ashante done this, and it took them about a month to dine him down.
Even it felt like years.
Yeah, like
just,
remember at one point he was literally in the women's locker room. Ashante Adonis, a male wrestler, was in the female locker room looking for Time Petrovich. But I digress. The point is, he shouldn't be there. It's like we are borderline away from like peeping toms, like looking through spy holes in the wall and shit to see people changing. Like that's the level that these two are at, and that needs to get dialed back immediately. Like, look in the fucking mirror, realize what you're doing is not cool, and move on. Your shit is not for mainstream wrestling. Your shit is for the wrestling that goes literally nowhere near social media. Like, go get your £5 wage, at a fucking shitty indie that will promote this shit. Like, this is not what works on mainstream. Not my NXT.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Now we're away from that slight rant. Third match of the night. It is the NXT North American Championship ladder match qualifier between Kalani Jordan and Roxanne Perez. And in what is perhaps one of the most surprising results of this year, Kalani Jordan beats Roxanne Perez clean following a top rope split-legged moonsault. One of a kind, it's called, I think. I rated it 4.25 stars. Very fucking good. Great match. It was near 15 minutes. Yeah. It got enough time. In a very un-NXT move, it got good time. So, she joins Zarya in the North American title ladder match at Stand Deliver. Very good match. I think Kalani's best match to date. And that's not just because it's Roxanne Perez she's fighting. It's because she seemed motivated to do well here. She had an energy to her that she hasn't really shown before. And honestly, keep it up, Kalani, because I've wanted to like you for a long time, but you've never given me a real reason to. Keep this up. The character work, the in-ring work. Keep it up, honestly. Roxanne as well. Great as always. Roxanne, I would never say bad about Roxanne Perez. She, even as a face, she was good as a wrestler. Great as a wrestler. As a heel, another level. But Roxanne is always great. And Roxanne is also at that point in her career where she's improving her arsenal of moves. She's learning new stuff and doing it. I know she's going soon, main roster. But if this is her swan song, if this is a retirement tour, so to speak, for NXT, keep doing it, please. Just fight everyone on the roster at some point. Don't go, Roxanne.
I was banging into this match. Both look really, really good. Kalani's shown some presence we've ever properly seen. Obviously, going up against the Prodigy, qualifying for the ladder match. Yeah, it was really good, really good. Like you pointed out, they give it time. They're both allowed to showcase what they can do, and the fact I enjoyed the Kalani Jordan match, which I haven't for a while. Yeah, it was great. It still feels weird seeing Roxanne without a title around her waist, but like it's and I'm wondering what the next step is for, because Roxanne has to be at Stand and Deliver. What's the plan for that? But she's only got 2 weeks. Only got 2 weeks to figure that out. No, 1 week essentially.
Yeah.
So, like, it's unless they do like a last chance qualifier on the go home show, then. But no, it's I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. I think Roxanne always has to be in another match because it's her chance at a Grand Slam title, at being a Grand Slam champion. Like, I think she has to be in it. It's just she won't win this one here. She'll win the last chance match because again, I think it adds more mystique and uncertainness to the match if you have Roxanne in it. Because not only is she Roxanne Perez, but the idea of her winning the title that she's not won, adds to the, she'll win it then, absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, very good match.
Yeah.
Shame it's not the main event.
Yeah. It's a very, like, it's well suited to the main event, but I understand why now.
We go back to Ava's office now with Robert Stone and Stevie Turner. Stevie Turner, as the GM of Evolve, apologizes for Swipe Right. Rightfully so. But just, dial it back. Stone says to ignore that because they need to talk about Stand and Deliver. However, Ava wants to talk about Dark State. Ava wanted to put aside NXT's biggest PLE of the year to talk about Dark State, a faction of outcasts.
Yeah.
She's a leader, I'm telling you. She's a leader of Dark State. No, she says that Dark State will be in a six-person tag match next week against the main three people in the NXT, in the standalone main event. Sorry, Oba Femi, Trick Williams, and Javon Evans. It's commented as being a big match, and I would agree if DNS was not in that group. No, it's big to an extent. It's just, I feel like it's an obvious result.
I mean, I was thinking a DQ finish.
Yeah, I was too.
Yeah.
Like, it has to
there we go,
end some sort of no contest or DQ or something like that. Like, there's no way we're getting a clean win from either side here. Or pin, even.
Yeah, exactly. Dark State pinning Oba, Trick, or Javon brings the main event down, and Javon, Trick, or Oba pinning Dark State just halts any momentum for Dark State.
Exactly.
So it kind of,
if anything,
kind of has to be a DQ finish.
If anything, the match shouldn't happen. Really, like you could have.
No, not this game.
Like Javon taken out or something, and then like, oh no, we can't do the match. It's 3-on-2 handicap. Like, I don't know. Like, obviously you advertise it and shit, but like you ain't got to do the match. Like, you do something beforehand that ruined that. Stops it from happening.
Yeah, there's options.
After this, we get an interview with Ricky Saints. He says that nobody knows him, and he's ready. He's gonna be North American champion by the end of the night. That's it. After this, we are backstage with Sol Ruka and Zarya. Zarya wants Sol at ringside at Stand and Deliver. Before they can talk further, Kalani Jordan comes in and wants to talk about her win over Roxanne Perez and calls her shot to win the North American title. She's laughed off by Zarya, and bars are exchanged between them. And then Sol reveals she's got a qualifying match next week to Zarya. Are they going to be cool with that? And then Chloe's like, whatever, and walks off. And then also Sol officially reveals the team name for Zaruka. And I'm just there like, is that not already the official team name? Because I've been calling them that for months. Well, a month.
Yeah. The faction stuff in it. Like, who?
It's like, this is twice now. It's like, am I first or are they first? Because I think I came up with it, Zaruka, and then I went to Zaruka's random page on Instagram randomly and saw it on her bio, Zaruka. I was like, oh, okay, so it's already existing then. But then, this was like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, it's the first time I'm hearing it, so yeah.
So I don't know. But yeah, Zarya doesn't say anything, and then that's going to be the name of the team, I guess. Cool. I wonder who Sol's facing next week. It should be Jakar Jackson, but we'll see.
That would be where I'd go with it, but
yeah,
we'll see.
We get a Twitter or X post from Dark State. Sakura Juggles is the one holding the phone. They're outside the Capitol Wrestling Center and they're shouting. They're shouting a lot. But they're more than ready to take it to over Trinjavon. Cool.
Alrighty then.
Yeah. I like the idea that they're not in like this dark cupboard somewhere. Like talking over a phone. I like the fact that you can see they're outside. And they're in a street. You can see that.
Yes.
So it gives them more edge like that for me. Like they're not like being the Shield. Like remember the Shield will hang out like in like weird like dingy corridors and stuff to do their promos.
I prefer that, if I'm honest.
Okay, that's fair. So we're confirmed for next week. The tag match. Sol's got a match against someone. And also, we're confirmed to have the match between Jordan Grace and Jada Parker, which should be a good match.
Yeah.
After this, though, we go into the fourth and final match of the night. Only 4 matches on this week. Main event for the men's NXT North American Championship. The challenger, Ricky Saints, with nobody, taking on Shawn Spears, the champion, with the culling. Now, we are about 2 weeks in of Shawn Spears being champion. 2 or 3 weeks. If that. So naturally, he's going to retain here, or some sort of bullshit DQ or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be right.
I was thinking.
Yeah. No.
I was thinking.
Ricky Saints wins clean and becomes new men's North American champion. I rated 2 3/4 stars. Say psych.
Oh.
Please. Say it's an April Fool's joke or something. Like, is it a dream? Is it a dream sequence? Like, Ricky's already a champion. It's been like a month. Like, since he debuted. Maybe a month and a half.
What, third match?
Yeah, like, the match wasn't even all that. To be honest, it was kind of average. Which I guess is going to be the personification of a Ricky Saints title reign. Because he's not the best wrestler, which is obviously my opinion. But I'm not excited for this.
Fair. It surprised me.
Yeah.
It definitely surprised me.
Mm.
But I'm not mad.
Wow.
I'm actually okay with this. I know Spears' first defense, yada yada, but it makes it more interesting. It's definitely surprising. I was very much, going into this match. It's be a fine match. Spears will retain, get some interference by the culling, and we'll get a couple of near falls, and we got all that. But the only near fall we didn't get was for the Rochambeau, because he pinned him, and the referee counted to 3. Like, I actually, when that happened, I stood up, and head in hands. I stood up, have they just done that? Silent for a good minute. And yeah, new North American champion. And except I'm not mad. I thought the match was what I expected. But I don't know. As soon as Starks took out the culling, I thought, are they actually going to do it? And then they did. They actually did it. They actually.
My thought was, when he's taking out the culling, that he's going to take out Nico, take out Brooks, and then lose, because that's typically how you do these things. And I just thought it's way too early for Shawn to lose title. At the very least, stand delivers when you do it, right? You have Ricky lose by a DQ or some bullshit like count out or whatever, and then stand delivers when you do it. If anything, because it's a big profile show, right? But no, instead he's got a month-long reign with a title, which to me is insane, but apparently not all that insane. He's basically gotten a Leon Ruff reign. Shawn Spears with that title.
Oh, Leon Ruff.
And I don't mean it in a harsh way, but Leon Ruff was never going to be a successful champion. In that scene with Gargano and fucking Bronson Reed at the time, he was never going to be a successful champion. And just doing it like this, it rubs me the wrong way. Because at this point, it seems relevant to mention it, that how people who come over to WWE from AEW or from other companies seem to get rewarded with almost instant title reigns or world title scene pictures.
Yeah, there's a history, to be fair. I mean, Bobby Roode, Samoa Joe, Drew McIntyre. Now Ethan Page, now Starks, and so that's definitely a thing I didn't pick up on. But now, okay.
So it just
quite quickly, that one.
I assumed he was going to be champion at some point, Ricky Saints. I just didn't think it'd be straight away, because it kills. And I know we're not fans of the culling. I know we're not. I know there's a very small percentile. I mean, in general, not like the collective we, not like you and me, but like most people aren't a fan of the culling because it's Shawn Spears and it's not all that interesting and very cryptic and all that. But having Ricky Saints essentially John Cena Nexus, the culling, he takes them all out and wins. It's just him. He's got no backup, Ricky Saints. It's literally one guy against 3 and Izzy. but obviously he won't hit anything. So you've killed the culling. They can't come back from this.
Well, you could say they've culled the culling.
You could. And I
so you take someone's mouth.
You could, but it's just.
He's taking a few out. It's technically a culling.
It's baffling booking. I'm bamboozled, discombobulated. I don't understand it, and I don't know if I want to, because at this point I feel like title reigns are being offered in contracts. Like Ethan Page came in, won the title within about a month and a half or 2 months. Ricky Starks comes in, wins it within, again, a month and a half, 2 months. Like,
okay.
Julia,
I do see where you're coming from.
Julia came in from Japan, from Stardom. Came in, won the world title with, well, to be fair, not as quickly, but 3 or 4 months. Like, but Julia was always in that picture with Roxanne anyway.
Yeah. This debuted a year ago. So, in the crowd during the women's match.
Yeah, quite. So it's. I feel like titles don't mean anything anymore. In specifically NXT.
Yeah, I do get where you're coming from. Yeah, they're all happening fairly quickly. I mean, I'm not against having someone come in and win the title, but it has to either be months later or very first match, a surprise, very first match, and they unexpectedly pin the champion. That kind of thing, I'm cool with, but yeah, I do get it coming from.
If it was few and far between, like if it was like, say, Julia did it within like the first month, and then you had like the next year, like Ricky Starks comes in and does it within a month or something, I'm not going to necessarily remember that Julia did it in the same way. But because they're doing it so frequently with the new signings, that was like, sorry, except Jordynne Grace, because she's the only one who's not got the same contract these other guys have.
Until Stand and Deliver, she gets a title match. It's just in the title picture.
That is true, yeah. That is true. That is, yeah.
So, yeah.
And she did debut, didn't she?
And she debuted for champions.
Yeah.
So she's been in the title picture from day one.
So
Never mind that.
I think there is a pattern that you can point out and observe, and you can make your own judgments based off of it, like I am, because titles now, at least in NXT, feel like props. I said it earlier.
Yeah.
And I kind of believe it. The titles should mean something, and they don't seem to. Like, we saw it earlier with the Care relinquishing the North American title like it was nothing. Like, she didn't want to do it. You can see it on her face. But WWE made her do it. Because they wanted to have, big ladder match at North Stand Deliver that she can't be part of because she's got a match later on with Jordynne Grace. Like, it just plan. Do things properly. You haven't got to buy into people's egos. No pun. You ain't got to buy into people's egos with title shots or title reigns. You know, like, why is that in the contract? Not confirmed in the contract, but you have to assume the implication is there for them to get the shot so quickly after their debut.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it could be like like to an extent capitalizing on buzz, but they don't always have to win the title. I do get where you're coming from with that.
Like I like, don't get me wrong, I like the way that Ethan Page did his one because it was a fluke.
Yeah, you fell into it. Yeah, literally fell into it.
Like, I don't mind that because it wasn't a clean thing. It wasn't Super Cena. Like, Ricky Saints has genuinely annoyed me with the way he's won this title. Like, John Cena in 2010 essentially took on, I think it was 5 members of the Nexus by himself. And he won.
Yeah. I mean, it was, yeah. It was 5-on-5, but all the Team Cena got eliminated, and just Cena left against the rest of the Nexus.
The 5 of them, right?
I think it's SummerSlam.
Yeah, but was it all of them against Cena after his team got eliminated? Or was it like 4 or 3 of them left?
I can't remember.
Okay, fair enough.
I can't remember. I know it was. I know in the elimination match, it was Cena against all the rest of Nexus.
Yeah, but
after
the point is,
Team Cena got eliminated.
The point is, he won that match, Cena.
When, yeah, he did. Yeah.
When it should have been a case of there's so many of them and only one of him. They should win.
No.
And in the same way that Ricky Saints here, in the same way that fucking Johnny Gargano beat Adam Cole at TakeOver, New Orleans, was it? When he took out the Undisputed Era and still tapped out Adam Cole.
Yeah.
They were all around the ring. Undisputed Era. Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, the prick. There's a pattern to these things and the ways you don't do things, and this is again falling into making Ricky Saints a superstar, and he's gonna fall flat on his face because, and people will see it more. Like, there's enough buzz and hype for him now. He's not gonna last. Like, yeah, he can talk, but that only gets you so far. Like, people get bored of you very quickly. Like, unless you can keep going. Or WWE just pipe feed the audio like new trick. Like, there's like, you're gonna lose it very quickly, and not tight. I mean the hype.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's
and
fair.
Again, I guess this is just the rant episode, but
no, it's fair. It was a pattern to it if you look for it, and it's pretty obvious once you do see it.
The April Fool's edition of NXT could very well be the worst edition of NXT.
And there's your title for the episode.
Yeah, besides Roxanne and Kalani. That was literally the shining beacon of this show. But that was not the end of the show, believe it or not. So, after Ricky Saints wins the title, and he's celebrating with the title, we are saved from the horror. Because we are saved by All Ego Ethan Page, who lays out Ricky with a twist of fate, or whatever he calls it, and stands tall.
Miles Steeler?
That could be it. And stands tall with a title above his head, above a fallen Ricky Saints, seemingly laying out the stand-alone match for the pair of them.
Yeah, or a threat potentially if Spears gets the rematch.
Hell yeah. First was there, hand win it back. Transitional champions to Saints.
Yeah. Yeah, just another triple threat for the North American title. I'm sure this will be as great as the last one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why not?
I mean, you're telling me that Saints, Spears, and Page, there we go,
Page,
won't be as good as Femi, Briggs, and the third one, Dijak.
Ow. Yeah. Who knows, right? Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? So yeah, Ethan Page and Rick Saints seems to be the program for Stand and Deliver, unless they throw in Sean Spears, as you said. What are your thoughts?
Not the greatest build to Stand and Deliver. If they do Ricky Stark staying, Saints, all that, I'm cool with it, I suppose. Yeah, all in all, just a few sparkling lights in what was a pretty basic show. Being completely honest, it was all right.
Yeah, that's fair. That is absolutely fair. It's amazing because for an April Fool's episode, there wasn't a lot of laughter or joy or anything remotely positive or anything positive. Really, we started off on a downwards on a bomb note with Vakir having to lose the title. Then we ended things with mediocrity as Ricky Saints won the North American title. So
yeah,
and then we went into the whole pattern of new signings winning titles and stuff, which is probably a valid thing if you do the research.
Yeah, it's definitely out there to see.
But yeah, on that positive and cheery note, that does bring an end to the episode 82 of HCW Show Squared. Craig, where can people find you?
You can follow me here, there, and everywhere. TikTok, Twitter, although I'm not on Twitter much anymore. I post the occasional video, but I'm not on Twitter really. Instagram, you can follow me there. Or at Mr. Impact Craig. Wherever if you're on social media, you can find me on Blue Sky as well, but I haven't really posted on Blue Sky ever. Like not in the last 6 months. But mainly on TikTok now, so just drop me a follow on TikTok and go if you have Spotify. If you can go to Calling the Spots on Spotify and give it a follow, give it a star review. All appreciated.
Cool to you. I've heard as well that your the most recent episode had a guest on there.
Indeed, it did. You could call it a crossover, I suppose.
You could call it a crossover episode.
Of course. Featuring your good self, the very first guest.
Me?
On the Calling the Spots. Yes.
But no,
very fun episode. Go and check that out. The last episode yet, by the way. So go and give it a listen on Spotify. And I trust me, I will be getting episodes uploaded to YouTube. It's just being asked to do it. Episode 1 is up, but I haven't made it public yet. But it is up on YouTube.
Well, there you go. Go check it out when you can.
Yeah, it'll be on YouTube by next week. By this time next week, every episode will be on YouTube.
Cool. So out by next Sunday.
Yes.
or,
every episode.
Or do you mean day of recording?
And it's now fortnightly. Day of recording, yeah. So Friday.
Okay.
By Friday, all episodes will be available.
Okay, cool. I'll host it.
Yeah, someone needs to.
And as always, you can follow the podcast on the links down below. So Instagram, Facebook, Twitter or X, and I guess Twitch. TikTok is a thing, as is Blue Sky. They're all things that have valid links that are working. There's a link tree in the description below that has all the links on there. As all Craig stuff is also on the description below as well. So everything that he's just said will be under the video as well. If you're so inclined, I am on Twitter at DpuizY. I am only as myself as on Twitter. I am not sharing my public Instagram account. I'm not sharing my public Facebook account. I'm not sharing my public TikTok account. I'm not sharing anything like that. It is just Twitter. So if myself normally just reposts of the podcast. So good stuff. But yeah, that has been episode 82 of the podcast. Thank you once again, Craig, for coming on. And with that in mind, that brings an end to this. Goodbye, be prosperous, and live a good life. Goodbye.
Bye.